Hi, it's Lou Theodore and it's day 60 of 100 videos in 100 days. And it's, you know, you have those times where you're just so busy and just so much to deal with, you hardly leave the house. Well, that's been the last 2 days for me. So I'm now officially going bonkers and stir crazy. So I have scheduled a trip out this afternoon and I'm going to the Seawhite factory shop, which is always a slightly dangerous trip for me. Seawhite is a paper manufacturer who are based in Partridge Green in Sussex, and they have the most brilliant factory shop, which is stuffed full of art materials, everything you can imagine. And it's the equivalent of taking a small excited child into Hamleys, letting me loose in there. But I am going specifically to look at a different format of sketchbook, but we'll see whether they've got that available, and yeah, we'll see if I manage to restrain myself, particularly in my stir crazy current mental state. And it was really, as I was sort of getting myself dressed to go out, I noticed that it got really sunny, and I decided to put on these turquoise necklaces today, and that's partly because I bought them when I was in Turkey with my mum. We'd, oh gosh, for all sorts of reasons and too long a story, we'd had quite a difficult time in Greece, and we'd gone back to Rhodes Island, and we decided that we were going to do some fun things together before we came back to the UK. And we went on a day trip, like a real touristy type day trip to Marmaris in Turkey, and it was one of the most fun days I've ever had, I think, with my mum. Really so far. We didn't stop laughing, and these necklaces always remind me of that. And yeah, it was, you know, it was such a touristy trip. We got involved in kind of, you know, getting taken to this jewellery gold shop and shown all this expensive jewellery, which obviously we were interested in, and we ended up having our lunch in this sort of tiny little local cafe in a market, which was just brilliant, and did bartering over luggage. I got chatted up by the luggage salesman who gave me his email address and seemed quite keen to keep in contact. It was just madness. It was a day of so much fun and madness. So that's why I'm wearing these today, to remind me of that. And the sunshine is kind of reminding me of that day too. So there we go, enough chat. Got to get off to Partridge Green to see those sketchbooks. So I was lucky and did manage to get the octopus sketchbook. So I just thought I would show you how this thing works and why it's different to your average sketchbook. Oops, sorry. So we've got all these sort of folded pages. What happens is, so you can't quite see that, I can't get all that in the frame, but you can see that it opens right out. So you can use the fronts, the backs, then you fold it up and go on to the next one. So each page is a really long page, and as you can see, one of my cats is quite interested in it. I also bought these pencils too, so they're quite interesting. So they're just obviously double-ended and 2 different colours in each one. I had sort of had this mad idea that for my visual diary, rather than sort of sketchbook stuff, I might go out with just like a pen and one of these and just see how I can render a scene just in 2 colours and a bit of black pen. So I managed to buy 2 of these octopus sketchbooks, a couple of other just sort of cheap A5 sketchbooks, and the pencils. So that was pretty restrained for me. So that's my day 60 purchases. I might actually go out for a little whirl if I get some time tomorrow with just one of these pencils and a black pen. It'd just be so fun, just so fun to try with such limited materials, and just see what you can produce. And especially as I've been working a lot digitally recently, it's sometimes really nice just to go back and have the scratch of the pencil on the paper, and maybe slosh some paint around and just use very traditional things. So we shall see what tomorrow brings. But this is day 60, and I will check in with you tomorrow.